Okay guys, today welcome back to the channel. We'll be looking into how to determine the number of terms whose value is given in arithmetic progression. Now this is an arithmetic progression. Now if we read the question here, it said determine the number of terms whose value is what? 22. Now in my previous video, I think this is my third video on arithmetic progression. So we're going to solve this out here. Now I said the first thing you need in arithmetic progression, you have your A, right? That's your first term, and the first term here is given to be what? You have a 2 1 over 2, right? And this 2 1 over 2, you can write it back to improper fraction. That is what? To write it back to improper fraction, that's you multiply this 2 and then add it to this one up here. So what do we have? This now 2 times 2, that is 4 plus 1, that is what? 5 all over what? 2. So it's the same thing. So let's leave it in this form. So now let's go over to the other one. Now let's look for the second thing we need here. The second thing we need is what we call the common difference. I told you that in arithmetic progression, you need the first term, you need a common difference, and then the question here said you should find the number of terms. I will go to that later. Now what's the common difference here? I told you that the common difference is when this subtract what? This. You will know the common difference, but you can't just find it at once. You go to the next one again, do the same thing. This subtract this. If it's able to give you the same thing with this one here, what this one gave you before when you subtracted it, that means that is the common difference. So if this also subtract this, and then you get the same thing with when this subtract this and when they subtract this, the same value, then you know that that becomes the word common word difference. That's why I call them common difference. Now let's look at something here. Let's check these ones out here. Now this is now 4 minus 2 1 over 2, right? Now let's check this ones. Now this is the first one we want to check here. That is 4 subtract the first one. Let's check what's the common difference here. And this is 4 now minus what? 2 times 2, then plus 1 will give us what? 5 all over 2. So this is just like over 1. Find the LCM is 2. 2 divided by 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is what? 8 minus what? 2 into 2 is 1. 1 times 5 is still what? 5, right? So from here we have it, this now equal to what? 8 minus 5 is what? 3 all over what? 2. So this is exactly what we have as a common difference. But then we don't know if it's common yet until we do the other ones. Now the second one, let's do 5 minus what? 4. 5 and a half minus 4. So let's do it here. Let's say 5 and a half minus what? 4. So let's try something. This is now 5 and a half. This is now 2 times 5, then plus 1 up here. 2 times 5 is what? 10. Plus 1 is what? 11 over 2. Then subtract what? 4, just like over 1. Then find the LCM, that is 2. 2 divided by 2 here is 1. 1 times 11 is 11 minus 1 into 2 is 2 times 2 times 4 is what? 8. Then we have this to be what? 11 minus 8 is still what? 3. Is still 3 all over what? 2. So notice that this here and this here are the same. So this possibly is the common word difference that we're looking for. Let's try the next one. The last one, let's try 7 minus 5 and a half. Let's see whether it will give us something. Now let's say 7 minus what? 5 and a half. Now let's have this to be what? 7 minus, let's convert this 5 and a half. Now this 2 times 5 here, that is 10 plus 1 is what? 11 all over what? 2. This is more like over 1. Now find the LCM. The LCM now is what? 2. 1 into 2 is 2 times 2 times 7 is what? 14 minus what? 2 into 2 is 1. 1 times 11 is what? 11. 14 minus 11 is what? 3 all over 2. Please viewers, do well to subscribe to this my channel, this Excellent Learning website. Now we notice here that the common difference here is 3 over 2 here, and the same 3 over 2 reoccurs here. The same 3 over 2 also reoccurs here. So our common difference now is what? 3 all over what? 2. So we'll leave it in this form. Next in the question said determine the number of terms. This one called number of terms, that is our n. The n there. What is the n now? That is a question there. Determine the number of terms whose value is 22 in the series. The number of terms that is equal to what? 22. That is a question. Now we are asked to find the what? Number of terms. I want to talk about number of terms. That is the nth term formula. We use the nth term formula. And the nth term formula now in arithmetic progression have it to be what? T of n is equal to what? First term plus open bracket the term minus 1 close bracket what? D. So this is the nth term formula. Now, meanwhile, what we have here, we already have the first term. The first term a, we have it to be what? 5 over 2. Now let's have it 5 all over 2 plus, open bracket, our n, we don't know our n, so we just put it back to be what? N minus 1, right? So what is our common difference over here? Our common difference, we got it to be what? 3 over 2. Now this multiplies what? 3 all over 2. And we told that the n term formula is equal to what? 22. So they are just more like asking, what value in this place, what value of n here is going to be equal to what? 22. So this is more like the question. Okay, now let's solve from here. Now let's simplify this further. Now here we have our 5 all over 2 plus, right? Here we now have it what? 3 over 2 multiply what? N. That is what we have. 3n all over what? 2 minus 3 over 2 multiplied by negative 1. That is negative what? 3 all over what? 2 is now equal to 20 what? 2. So now guys, let's move down. Let's move down a little. Now here now we do the normal simplification. Now let's bring this closer to this side so that we can be able to now subtract carefully. It is now 5 all over 2 minus what? 3 all over what? 2. The LCM now is what? 2. 2 into 2 is 1. This is more like 5 minus what? 3 is equal to what? 5 minus 3 is what? 2. 2 over 2 is equal to what? 1. Right? So for this here we have it to be what? 1. We already simplified this to 1. So let's have it down here. Let's erase it and then replace it with 1 immediately, and then let's continue our solution. Now this is now 1 plus what? 3n all over what? 2 is now equal to 22, right? Now we collect like terms, right? Now if we collect like terms, now this one goes to this side. So what we have here is now 3n all over 2 is now equal to 22 minus what? 1. Now let's come to this side. Now 22 minus what? This is now 3n over 2. Let's have it to 3n now all over 2 is now equal 22 minus 1 is what? 21. Right? So now the simple thing we do from here is we only cross multiply. Now what do we have here? This now 3n is now equal to 22. 21 now times 2 is going to give us what? 21 in 2 places is going to give us 42. So make n subject formula. We now say 42 divided by what? 3. If 42 divides 3, what are we going to have? Now to have 42 divides 3. Now let's have this now. Let's say 12 is going to give us 36. Now let's say 14, and now 14. Now this is what we have. 4 gives us what? 12. 1 plus that one gives us what? 4. So the answer to this is what? 14. And this is now 14. Okay, so this is 14. So the value for n that is going to give us 22 is what? 14. Now let's try something in that n term formula again. Let's see. Now if we have something like, let's say t of what? Let's say 14th term, right? It's now equal to what? First term is what? The first term we have is what? 5 all over 2, then plus, open bracket. Now this is actually the 14th term as we proved. Now let's check whether it's correct. We're checking now. What was the common difference like before? Is what? 3 all over what? 2. Now forget about the equal to. We don't need it for now. So let's solve this side and see whether it's equal to the other side. So now what we have now is 5 all over 2 plus, now this is now 14 minus 1 is what? 13 times what? 3 all over 2. Then when we have 13 times 3, it's more like this. Now 5 over 2 plus 13. This 3 times 3 here is what? 9. 3 times 1 is what? 3. That is 39 all over 2. Now correct this LCM now is 2. This is more like 5 plus what? 39. 5 plus 39 is going to give us what? 44, right? Divide 44 by 2, we're still ending up with what? 22. So it's more like we have done the reverse form and then gotten our work back to the normal question we were given. So the actual answer to this question is that 14 now is a term, the number of term we need. So the number here is now what? 14. We need what? 14th term, the 14th term, in order to get the value to be what? 22 in the series. Thanks for watching my video. Do well to subscribe to this channel. Thank you.